What is up, Teach Better family? It is 5 o'clock here in the Eastern time zone, which means this is your Teach Better, but stop shaking your head. This is your Teach Better brain break. And we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. I've got my good, just dearest friend in the entire world, Dr. Dave Schmitto, with me today. With us today, with me. I don't know how to say that. And we've got our good friend Julie here. First time on camera with us, first time stream with us. We've read her rights. We've let her know. We've given her many options to jump off, and she's still here. So we're excited to have her here. If you're with us live, drop in the comments. Let us know where you're at. What are you taking a break from today? Do you got a drink in your hand? Do you have a snack in your hand? What's going on? And any last words for Julie as she tries to get through the next 50 to 60 minutes with us? We're going to be back in about 15. All right, welcome to Brain Break, where we talk about life and nonsense and sometimes some semi-important topics so that you can turn your brain off for a little bit and just have some fun. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Dave, how are you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm doing great since you just gave me permission to turn my brain off. I feel like I can just go with the flow. No, I'm doing great today. We got Julie hanging out with us. She's been blowing up Twitter advertising this today. She's so excited.
I know.
As well.
Like, I was really glad because Julie, like, Dave sometimes forgets. So I really appreciate that. So anyway, we're turning back. So I said hi to Dave. We're good there. Now, Julie, it's all about you from the rest of the way out here. So how are you? You are still in your classroom, it appears.
Yeah, I thought this would be a better place for me to stay. It's quieter. Although, as I mentioned to you beforehand, it is storming outside in Illinois right now. So hopefully we keep the power on and the internet going.
Well, do you want me to tell you what it's doing here?
What's it doing there?
None of that.
Okay.
You open the door. It is approximately 78 degrees, a cool breeze coming in off the water. The sun is shining. I might have to go close my blinds.
You can just stop that right now.
Listen, we're at 70 degrees here, and it's gorgeous outside in Ohio right now. But in a day, we're probably going to get what you have right now, Julie. So you are in. System. Yeah. So you're in Illinois. We covered that. Can you give anyone who doesn't know you, who maybe hasn't been introduced, kind of give us the introduction of where you're at, what you teach, what your role in education is?
Yeah. So I'm at Plano High School in Plano, Illinois. It's a semi-rural. It is a western suburb, but it's a semi-rural high school in Illinois. This is actually my first year here, but my 18th year in education. So my kids are always shocked that I say I'm an 18th year teacher because they think I'm a lot younger than I actually am. I'm not going to tell you what I'm turning next month in terms of age. The kids are always shocked when I tell them how old I'm going to be next month. But I teach math here. I teach freshman algebra 1, and I also teach seniors a college prep math course, which we're partnered up with Waubonsie Community College. That kids in that class, they get a C or better in that course. They can get out of remedial math courses. So that's a nice carrot to put at the end of the stick to get them to get into classes they pay for and get credit for instead of those remedial courses. And it's also getting them ready for that college entrance exam they may or may not have if they're going to other schools besides Waubonsie. Also here, I have implemented the grid method in my classrooms this semester and in my Algebra 1 classes to start. And I've had a lot of success with it. It was a deep dive. I decided to jump right into it, and I'm glad I did. The things I'm seeing happening in my classroom every day, the engagement I'm seeing is everything I've dreamed of as an educator and never fully achieved. So that's how I'm linked up with the Teach Better team, is through that training and getting really into it.
Can you ping Chris Madsen real quick and have him capture that?
Bree, take a note. Like, we need to clip that. Like, that's a great grid method commercial right there. And Joey, that's how. And I know we met because I've been at your school and stuff, but like we started converse a little bit more on Twitter as you were kind of getting into things and you were dealing with all the typical stuff that happens when you're making such a big shift like the grid method and stuff. So I'm really happy that happened. That I can't remember if you initially reached out or if I replied to a tweet or what, but we got commented, and so then you were able to come on and stuff. So that's exciting.
Just cool. For perfect clarity's sake, I've been to Plano a bunch.
You have.
And every time I'm there, Julie's out. So I'm just saying, I'm completely offended, and my eyes have just been opened that you've met Jeff and not me. Okay.
Well, I don't. Where did we? Were you in one of the sessions that I did when I was there, or did we just?
Yeah, I think you.
I guess I
Yeah,
remember. Okay, that's what I
yeah,
thought it was. Okay.
yeah.
Can
And
you
I was
believe that?
just like, I was just kind of like grappling with the idea at that moment.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually implemented it all yet. But after 17 years of teaching and teaching one way, pretty much, I mean, I've always my name and my handle is EdTech Math Teach because I love educational technology, but I still was a direct instruction teacher. When it got right down to it, I was all about direct instruction. Now let's go practice it using all this cool technology. And it just wasn't working this year with my Algebra 1 kids. And I don't know if it's COVID, if it's just the group of kids I have, but I was feeling like a failure as a teacher. I remember coming home one day and telling my husband, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing the same thing I've been doing for years. And I was almost in tears. And he goes, the kids are changing. He goes, I think you've been spoiled for a long time with kids that really want to work hard for you. And you're now encountering kids that are complete opposite. So I sat down with my instructional coach and I told him, I said, I think I need to make a big change. I said, and I did that grid training over the summer, the grid method training with Chad, and had thought about it, but was like, oh my gosh, overwhelmed by the amount of work I knew it was going to be being a new teacher here, having 2 new preparations. And I just told him, I said, I'm ready to make the change. I need to do something because I'm not feeling like an effective educator right now and with this group of kids. And so right before Thanksgiving, I started when we had that 2-day training or time to work, really, I dove in, I made my first grid, and then I implemented it second semester and I haven't stopped. I've done every single unit since second semester started in Algebra 1 as grid. And the gains I'm seeing from my kids, the confidence I'm seeing, my grades have never been better in this class, and the classes themselves have not changed that much in terms of the clientele. So I'm enjoying it. It is a lot of work in the upfront, but I'm looking forward to next year, like having the stuff made already and just be able to tweak those things and continuing to do the things that I've been doing this semester.
I think we got everything we need, Dave. We could probably just wrap right now. I love Julie. Like it's a common story that we get and we see it a lot. But you just wrapped it up so nicely in your own story of this. You can be in education for almost 20 years and still make a change and still realize like you're just still learning, right? And in so many occupations, like you're there for 20 years, like you just cruising at that point, right? And you're just doing what you do. But that's something that I just love about educators. It's like even after 17, 18 years, it's like I can still make a complete change and just change the way I do things because I want to be better for my kids, even if it's going okay, even if it's going, whatever. Or I know you said you were struggling and stuff, but like that's so cool to me. And then to hear that it's working, obviously, is just awesome. So Dave's got deep thoughts going right now.
I'm just saying, I'm not changing anything. I've reached that crusty old age where I'm like the old men in the Muppets that just sit there and complain about it. Whoa. I am not changing anything. So I'm glad that you can. Well, you act like you're this veteran. You're still a young in there, Julie. You're young compared to this old guy. So
shout out in the comments to Mark Heller, who is in the house from Plano as well. So
I love Mark. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to be going to his school, actually.
The reason we're there. He's the one who brought us years ago in there and just been plugging away and gotten us eventually into the rest of the district and stuff. So.
Speaking of old men, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, speaking of.
Mark's awesome. I've actually been working with him because I'm wearing my t-shirt here. I'm the sponsor of Educators Rising. Another big thing I'm passionate about is the teacher shortage, trying to recruit young talent into the field. And we're going over to Plano Middle School in next week, I think, Mark, right? Next week to have the kids shadow some teachers over there. So he's been working with me, getting a schedule set up, getting everything ready for that.
So tell us about that program, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. So Educators Rising is actually a national organization, and we at Plano have a chapter here. We're actually connected with Aurora University's chapter, and they're the ones that basically fund our program here. And it is a club. We meet twice a month on a certain day, depending on what the kids want. And we learn about education and what it means to be in education, not just teaching. Kids are learning about what it means to be an administrator, to be a school counselor, to be a social worker, all of that. And then there's several big events throughout the year. We went to Illinois State University last month for the first ever Illinois Educators Rising Chapters conference, and it was $15 for registration. It was the best $15 that for each kid that we ever spent. We got so much good information from there. Plus, the kids got to see the beautiful campus at Illinois State University and see what it was like being on a college campus. And then we've been over to Centennial with Mike Zeman. He's amazing. Centennial Elementary School a couple of months ago. The kids got to shadow those second and third grade teachers and work with the kids one-on-one. It was awesome. The kids were so exhausted at the end of the day. I'm like, now you know what it feels like to be a teacher. This is exhausting, right? And now we're going over to Plano Middle School next week. So,
Julie, when you say kids, who are the kids? Like, what's the age and how do they get in? Like, what's that like?
Oh, for my kids in my group?
Yeah, the kids that are in this program. It's high school kids.
Yeah,
okay.
Right now I have, because the chapter actually took a hiatus for a couple of years because of COVID. So I took over when I came here. And it's a great group. And I did have a couple of upperclassmen join at first, but they kind of dropped off. And now I have a good core group of 8 freshmen, 9th graders that I'm working with. And I'm hoping we can really build the program over the next 3 years and really make it this big thing. I've really been recruiting a lot of those younger kids to try to make this a good thing for those kids.
Is the ultimate goal to have these kids, for lack of a term, stay home or come back home and plant their roots in Plano and be teachers there eventually?
Yeah, well, these are kids that are in our high school. So yeah, we're hoping that eventually they'll go off to college and major in some field of education in some way, shape, or form, or in something that deals with the education business, so like school counselor, social worker, just trying to improve and bring more kids into that field.
That's a good point, Bree. Can I just note that Bree's on the back end helping run the show right now, and she's also commenting as a viewer. So today's point. So it's not just because it's a national thing. So it's not just about creating teachers that hopefully come teach at Plano. It's just in general trying to create more teachers.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm
obviously, if some of your kids come back and teach in their hometown, that's all. That's
right.
cool.
That would be amazing if they came back here. But yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my main concerns, I know, Jeff, you follow me on Twitter. I continue to comment on. I've had a couple of viral tweets because of it. Is because the teacher shortage. I am very concerned as a mom that our public education system and education system in general is collapsing with the number of teachers leaving the profession right now. It's alarming. It's very alarming to me. And this is my way of trying to make it better. Because I think a lot of teachers right now are telling kids not to become teachers. And I will never do that. And I'm trying to make it a more admirable and also attract more talent to this field. Because I do think it's a great field. It's rewarding. It is a lot of work, though. I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's a hard job. But I find it's very rewarding. I go home now and I'm just like, I love my job.
So, Julie, I'm going to ask you a question, and anybody that's watching can chime in as well, if that's okay. You say it's rewarding. And this time of year, it's rare to hear that because it's evaluation time, it's state testing time. A lot of people are coming back from spring break and they're just waiting till they can get to June. Mm-hmm. But there is this amazing feeling that goes along with being a teacher, an educator. Mark Keller, a principal, any kind of educator for a lot of people. Some people call it your why. Some people call it your purpose. Some people just identify those specific tangible things that they love about what they do. I'm curious, what is the thing? What is that thing that makes you come back? That thing that you hold on to and say, I've been doing this for 18 years. Maybe I've got another 18 in me, or at least another year in you. What's the thing that you hold on to? And again, if anybody else wants to comment on their thing, feel free.
Yeah, I think the most rewarding thing for me is hearing kids say that, oh my gosh, I finally get it. I remember earlier this year we were doing word problems, and kids in general struggle with real world problems. They're always asking, like, where are we going to use this in the real world? But then when we get to the real world part, they're like, they shut down. Like, trying to dissect what's going on with the question is really tough for a lot of kids. And we were doing word problems earlier this year, and I happened to walk by as a pair of kids were working on a problem, and one girl goes, oh my gosh, I finally understand how to do this. I have never understood how to do a word problem before. And that just, like, as a teacher, it's like, my heart starts beating fast and I get all excited, right? Like, this is why I do this, is to make things make sense for kids and start to see how this is happening in the real world and how it can be useful for them. So that's my why, is making kids see the usefulness of this, and also to make it so that they actually understand it for the first time ever. That's
okay. So Julie, convince me. Why do I need high school math?
So you can talk to someone like me about it. That's why,
Fair
right?
enough. Okay, good call. Good call.
It's all about critical thinking skills. Like, when kids are like, we're graphing stuff right now, like parabolas. Like, when do we ever use this? And I'm like, so there's a lot of things in real world that go like this, right? Where do you see this? There's like baseballs going on right now. You see that path of motion happening in baseball every time someone throws the ball or hits the ball. So just reasoning, like, where's that ball going to land? What's its maximum height going to be? Just kind of thinking and estimating those things is really big. But even just like problem solving in general, math is all about problem solving. And just that logical step-by-step thought process is something I want to develop in kids, so that they feel comfortable jumping into a problem and feeling comfortable solving it.
You are so much smarter than me. That was awesome. When you started talking about parabolas, or I think that was the word, you started going like this.
The U-shape, yeah.
I thought you were describing like my emotional capacity in a meeting with Jeff, like it crashes. But what you just said, it made perfect sense too. I love it. I love it. Yeah, actually, you're right. It'd probably be more like that. So, or just flatline. Regardless, but understanding there's a difference is powerful. So that's awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah, I was thinking when you're talking about the graph and like just how many things and how often I use where I'm cross-referencing and I'm looking at different points to access different pieces of information. And then you threw the baseball thing. I'm like, oh yeah, like baseball. Like, I mean, just all the, I don't know. It's it's, you did it right there. So that was awesome.
That's good. That was good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. This is good. So far, we've gone a little bit of, like, it's been fun. We've already gone a little deep, I think.
You told me I could take a break today, Jeff. You said break,
like,
and Dave can just.
All right, let's Dave. What do you think? Let's see if maybe Julie can bring us back to giving our minds a break and during what you're thinking, or if she wants, she can take us deep again. We'll see. I don't know. Like,
let's do it.
Let's do that. We'll just jump into Julie, and this is where you can really make Dave's mind have to work if you want. We're gonna get into what you're thinking.
So good. So good. That transition music just brings me back in a nice slow way. So whether you're joining us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, any of those places, this is my favorite segment of Brain Break. We're here for an hour every single week, but this segment is why we're really here. This is a segment where sometimes we can go deep. Sometimes we're completely shallow and surface level. It's the segment where we explore what's going on in our minds, and I get to ask the question, Jeff, Julie, what you thinking? It's just our opportunity. Whatever's going on in your world right now, whether you're reading something, listening to something, or just completely lost in thoughts about something. It could be, you could be thinking about the teacher shortage. You could be thinking about assessment. You could be thinking about Grey's Anatomy. You could be, I don't know what's going on in your world. Is Grey's Anatomy even on anymore? I don't know. But whatever you're thinking about, I want to know about it. So, Jeff, I hope you're okay with me asking Julie first. Julie, what you thinking?
So actually, I've been thinking a lot about the beach lately.
So
when you were talking about the cool breezes and everything, and the sun shining, that's like that I was going there because unfortunately, I had to cancel our spring break trip to West Palm Beach this year last minute because my daughter caught COVID like 2 days before my spring break. So that was like a big, I was like more upset about the trip than anything. 'Cause as I've mentioned, I totally switched my way of teaching this semester. I've been working really hard. And I'm like, I could really use that brain break, right? I could really use that time on the beach just to not think about teaching for 5 days, enjoy that beautiful sunshine. And then we had to cancel it. And then I got COVID, of course. So there was like that double whammy. And my spring break was pretty much just me getting over being sick. So we had to move our trip to Memorial Day weekend, and now I'm thinking about the beach again.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah.
And that's like the end of
West Palm
May,
Beach?
so it's coming up soon here. I think it's like 5.5 weeks away. So
Yeah.
I'm super thrilled about
Ye-
going. My daughter's talking about collecting seashells and sand dollars on the beach, and hopefully not getting eaten by sharks and all that, because she's never seen the ocean. So she's very
Oh, that's
excited.
cool.
Yeah.
So West Palm Beach is where you're going still?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
How far is that from you?
Well, it's an 8-hour drive.
Okay, so
It's totally worth it. I'll send you some recommendations of things to see or do. It's super close to Boca, which is Golden Girls, if you're a Golden Girls fan. Boca Raton area. Fort Lauderdale, Miami is just 25 minutes from there. So lots of cool things to do.
Yeah, my husband's already mapped out like a map of the road down to Fort Lauderdale and all the pubs he wants to hit on the way.
Well, then he's already
hit all these breweries on the way down.
He already has the
so
same
he had
list
it
I was
mapped
going to
out.
send you.
Say that's
Yeah,
all
he
Dave
was very
gonna say.
disappointed that trip got canceled and he couldn't try like all these breweries on the coast. So
Well, you got to look. It'll just be a little warmer now for you.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you're familiar with the sport of I call it a sport of highlight. Have you ever heard of highlight?
No.
Okay, so highlight, and let your husband know you can drink while you're watching highlight. But highlight is this cool little sport where people, it's almost like they have almost like lacrosse sticks and they're whipping this ball against a wall. It's like lacrosse meets racquetball. But you go in and you bet on the highlight games that are going on. Oh, game changer.
Is it live games or like games on TV?
Yeah. You watch it live.
You're at a highlight court in there. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It's intense.
It's highlight,
but it's spelled with a J, so I think it's Jailai.
Okay.
Like that,
Yeah.
But
that's a big thing down there. You can just go watch it. Okay.
It is. Yeah.
A lot of older people like to play that game.
I've never heard of it. It must be a.
I got you, Jeff. I didn't say I'd play it, but it is very cool.
That wasn't a knock on you. That was just Florida.
Oh, okay. Well,
not you, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you moved to Florida, but yeah.
So I also binged the first season. So I went down to Miami in the Fort Lauderdale area quite a bit a few months ago and binged the first season of Dexter before I went down. I don't know if you're a Dexter fan.
That probably wasn't.
Yeah, no, I love Dexter. Yeah.
I love that show though. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, have fun. That sounds awesome.
Have you watched the new version?
Just finished it last night, actually.
Is it good? I have not. I haven't even started at all.
So here's what's funny.
I was not a fan of the.
Oh, Julie, not a fan. Dave seemed like he might have been.
Well,
no, of the original series. Yeah.
No, of the second, the Return series.
Yeah, the Return series. I was not a fan of.
Not a fan.
No.
Okay.
I was not a fan of Dexter First Blood.
Big fan of the first series. I've watched the whole series a couple times.
Yeah, I messed up the new one. I saw it was out and I got super excited. I actually downloaded the Showtime app just so I could watch it. I got it free for like 30 days. I was like, cool, let me dive into this. Watched an episode. Notice I didn't say the first episode. Watched an episode about 58 minutes into a 16-minute episode. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm missing something here. Like, do I need to go back and watch the first the first season again? There's a lot of loose ends.
You didn't realize it was
episode 10 of a 10 episode season.
You watched the season finale.
It's like reading the last 3 pages of a book and then trying to read the book. So I watched the last episode and now I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I went back and watched the other 9. I just wasn't as intense because I know how it ends. So
you know what's interesting about that? Like just a thing like that. Either of you Lost fans? Did you watch Lost?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't watch Lost for the first 3 seasons. The year that we moved into our house, I'm putting together like, I don't know, a TV cabinet or something in our living room. We got the TV up on a table and it just had a TV on. It just happened to be like, if you remember after the first couple of seasons, like they started doing like where the directors came on, explained to you like what just happened that season because you didn't know. It was after season 3, and I'm like, wow, I'm like this. Like I knew a couple of my friends were watching it, but I hadn't just watched it. And I'm like, it seems like a really cool show. And they're like, season 3 is now available on demand. It was like when on demand stuff was first coming out with the station. So I watched all of season 3. And I fell in love with the show, and I'm like, oh. So then I figured out. Then they released other ones. So then I started. So I started Lost with season 3 and went back. And here's how you know it was a really good show. That didn't ruin anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was able to see some things, but a lot of stuff that you got in season 3 didn't spoil anything in necessarily season 1, more season 2. So by the time I got there, I had forgotten a lot. But like it was really interesting. Like it didn't ruin it for me at all. Of course, I've watched the whole series of Lost, probably no joke, at least 10 times, if not more. And every single time you watch it, there's like you've learned something else, but you miss something, you catch something new.
It could be a fun game to play someday. Not today, because we got an amazing game we're going to play.
You want to play Lost? Like you want to go we'll just go on an island?
No,
oh, okay, sorry.
No. Especially,
Go
I've
ahead.
heard about your anxiety with plane crashes and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to do that. But to play what movie would be the most intriguing to watch backwards? Like thinking about how the movie ends, and like
I don't know like that's like how Tarantino does all his movies is from the backwards. But you're talking like. So I don't like reverse or like start.
Sort of like if the plot was flipped upside down, like would it change everything?
Like a Memento type movie?
Yeah, like The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz. What if she starts in Oz and she lands in Kansas? Is that still a good movie, or is that just like?
Okay, that's not where I thought. Okay, go in that direction. That's a whole other conversation. I was on the sort of the mindset of like what movie would still be good when you know the end in, right?
Yeah, like Better Call Saul.
I enjoy.
Like Breaking Bad. I know it's not a movie, but Breaking Bad. Yep. You've got this drug dealer that turns teacher. Like that's interesting, right?
Isn't that how most of it? Isn't that no?
He's a teacher turned drug dealer.
No, I was joking, saying the teachers. Never mind. My humor isn't always that good. But like Better Call Saul is an interesting one because so much of the timeline. You already know some of the things that happens to Saul, right? And then, but you're seeing all. So it's
so that's interesting, right?
Yeah. But Breaking Bad, I think, is one of those ones that I like. I bet you could drop in season 3 or 4 and still enjoy the first, you know what I mean? Like, still go back and watch them all.
I don't know. That one, being able to experience him when he was so innocent and so frazzled, and like you start to get empathy. That's what's so cool about that show is he's a bad dude, but you're actually cheering for him. So you had to build up that empathy for him.
Okay, so that's something about that show. I stopped cheering for him really early, and like it was such a weird disconnect I had with all my friends. Is I'm like, he's a piece of trash human. Like he's a terrible husband, a terrible father, just a terrible human being in every aspect of the world. I'm like, why is he the hero in this thing? Which like, and it's weird because then I watched Dexter and I'm like, nah, he's the hero.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm like, but like Dexter's fighting a demon. That's it. I'm like, that's just how he was born. Like Wired, this dude's choosing all of this. Like,
right.
He had a friend who was like, I'll give you all the money you need. And he refused it because of his ego. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Choices. Anyway, still a great show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that was
like,
good.
It was just one of those things. Like it was weird because like for like getting into the last season, like all my friends were like still rooting. Like I watched it after it was done. So like I remember them being such huge fans. And I'm like a couple seasons in, I'm like, I don't like this guy at all. Like I'm rooting for the brother-in-law at this point. Like now I liked Aaron Paul's character, Jesse. Like,
oh yeah.
I was rooting for him in a sense, but he was also kind of a whatever.
But see, and so it's like those two characters, they flip-flop because at the beginning.
Did. Oh yeah, that show. That's what that show did it so well because you rooted back and forth because like who was playing the bad part and stuff. It was just a really well done show. I mean,
true story.
Yeah,
true story.
Innocence and interesting stuff. So okay, well that's fun. This is better.
What you thinking? We went from sitting on the beach to drug dealing teachers.
Drug dealing teachers.
That's what we do here. You're welcome, Brain Break.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, and then we're gonna get into a game here in a minute. But like, just on the realm of like shows, I'm gonna stay with shows, not movies, but shows. What? And it kind of sounds like probably Breaking Bad, but do you have those shows? Maybe it's just me. Do you have the shows that you could watch the series just over and over again a million times, and you're always enjoying it?
Oh, yeah.
And if so, what one or several is that? Like, what is that show for you or shows?
So this is going to be cheesy. But I was in high school and college when Dawson's Creek came on.
Okay. So that's
and
like, I get it.
Yeah. And it's very angsty, totally angsty, but it's that timeline where I grew up. So it's like 90s music and 90s fashion and early 2000s. And so I have watched that show over again at least 4 times on whatever it's on Netflix or whatever it's on, and that's kind of a guilty pleasure. I don't take pride in that at all. That I'm watching that because it really is an awful show. It's not good at all.
Not well done. You mean like not great acting?
Yeah, the storylines, especially in like the last season, were terrible. Like the fact that they all go to college together, I'm like, that doesn't just happen. Like not everybody goes to college in the same town and just continues to be friends after high school. So, but yeah, it was Pacey's Creek. I was definitely on Team Pacey for sure. I did not like Dawson at all. He was so whiny.
How many kids were there in that group?
There were originally the 4 main characters,
Gotcha.
and then more kids came on. Like,
gotcha. Yeah. It's just that was just funny because I'm thinking like there was like 20 kids that I used to hang out with that all went to the same college after high school, and we all hung out for the next 4 years. So I'm like, oh, I guess we're those people. So it's Dawson Creek's. Is it just like that the only show? Like I think I have 5 shows that I've watched like the entire series like well over 10 times, like again and again. It's crazy.
I mean, it's a newer show, but I've rewatched Bridgerton season 1 like 3 times.
You've already watched it. Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and then I watched the second season. Like I watched the whole second season all the way through, but I haven't had time to watch it again. I actually like the second season better than the first season, to be honest, of Bridgerton. But that show's still going, so I can't say
you
watched
can't
it all the way over again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I've watched the entire series of Burn Notice. I actually I sat down one day and like really strategically thought through it, but I think I've watched it 15 times.
Wow.
Now, to be clear, like, one thing that I do because I like noise, a lot of times I'll have my phone playing something while I'm working, and because I don't want it to be a distraction, I make it something that I've seen, because then I have the noise. I'll get a laugh or a smile every now and then, but it's not pulling my attention because I don't have to pay attention to it. So I think that's why I've been able to watch them so much. But like I've done that with Lost, Burn Notice, How I Met Your Mother. Like that's probably, I don't know, Friends. Like, Dave, do you have a show like that? Or it's like I feel like I'm the weird one here for sure.
I'm processing some of this, right? So I was tracking. First of all, I have no idea Dawson's Creek. Like never watched.
Never watched it either. No.
Yeah, you're not like honestly, you're not missing much.
I'm a Vanderbeek fan. I'm a fan of some of a lot of the people in there. But
so Julie, you mentioned that Bridgerton, like that's a show that I'm afraid to even turn on, let alone watch more than once, because like I feel like the judgment from anybody when Bridgerton's playing on TV and Dave's watching it will just be insane. And if I were to say, hey, I'm going to watch this one again, it's a whole nother story. So I'm going to defer to your judgment on that one. For me,
it is. Yeah, it's a chick show.
Okay.
Like my husband would not be in the room watching it with me. I had to watch that while ironing and folding laundry. Like it was not something he was gonna ever sit down and watch. And he'd watch one episode. He's like, "This is garbage," and he just like walk off.
I'm gonna
so I
watch
watched that one by myself. It is a romance. I mean, that's what it is. It's a romance.
God bless you. Yeah. For me, the only shows that I watch more than once are those shows where every episode is kind of like a standalone. It's not part of, like, you don't have to be invested in the entire storyline.
Okay.
And so you embarrassed yourself with Dawson's Creek, and I don't know that that's something you need to be embarrassed about, but for me, Saved by the Bell.
Oh, like, really? Well, that
Saved by the Bell. Okay. Even the middle school years, like going way back, and where they started off in Indiana, then all of a sudden Zach Morris is in California. They never explained how he went from Indiana to California. Like, it's just whatever. Let's just go. Like the first few seasons, he could call timeouts, and then he lost that power.
Yeah, he stopped being able to break the fourth wall. Yeah.
But I love it. It makes no sense. The show is trash, but I'm all about it. So,
do you watch the Zach Morris's trash?
I actually yes, they are funny. Yeah.
So that was one that I watched that when I was growing up, but that's an interesting one. Okay, so you've gone back and watched that since? Again.
I have, because they've got new ones out now on Peacock, which they're phenomenal. They actually do have good moral messages.
Like all new cast, like the whole new thing.
Well, sort of. It's Zach's son is the main character.
Okay.
Slater is the gym teacher. Jesse Spano is the school counselor. So like the main people are still there.
Zach's not in it though.
He is actually there. He's the governor of California in season 1.
Is he really? That makes sense.
So he should be. Super funny. So there's all those cheesy moments, but every episode now has a powerful message too. So if you're looking for something to binge, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's check that one out. I'm looking for something else to watch right now because Bridgerton, I've already watched it. So
I get weird about watching new ones because I'm afraid I'm gonna get hooked, and then I'm more like spend all this time, right? Like Dave, you're worried that you're gonna watch Bridgerton and get embarrassed. I'm worried that I'm gonna get hooked. And it's like I'm not going to talk to him because I got to watch this. But interesting. All right.
If you watch and get hooked, you need to send me a message because I think you'd be the first guy that I've ever heard
No,
that
trust me.
actually watches that show.
Trust me, there are a lot of guys that watch that. They just
don't watch it with kids around. That is a good point. It is.
And Jeff, don't have it on in the background when we're in a meeting now either, because that's not something I need to be hearing while we're in a meeting. So, yes.
Anyway, okay. Well,
sorry.
That was good, Dave. I was hoping you had some more shows. So I'm the one who watched them over and over and over again. So
yeah,
I got to the point with Friends where I might still be able to do it now. I don't know. There was a point where, like, if I could speak fast enough because the intro, the cut scenes with the music and stuff changes depending on the season, I could tell you the episode and what was happening on each one of those little clips that they show. The little, like, when they're showing the character's name and stuff, because I just knew the season so well. Like, when I first moved to Kent, the first time when I moved down to my parents' house, moved to Kent, I had 4 months where I lived there by myself. When my roommate moved in, where I didn't have didn't have cable, and Wi-Fi wasn't really a thing as much then. And so I just had it was actually my brother's. I had all of his friends' DVDs because I had borrowed them when I was sick sometime earlier. And I had my computer with a DVD player in it. So I literally, like, that's what I did for entertainment, like falling asleep and all that stuff like that. So I just, like, I got hooked because I watched Friends a little bit when I was, like, it was on, but, like, I missed the season finale. I was on a stage playing when it went on because I didn't care. It was like years later. It's weird. So anyway, a little insight into some of the issues going on in this head. Dave, do you think maybe we want to try and play a game? Is that something we want to do today?
So I tried to give you a segue to it about a minute ago, and it went right over your head.
What did you say?
That's
Do it again. Do it again.
I apologize profusely for saying things. I just said, sorry. I'm sorry. But it went right over. So
I get it now. But
yeah,
I hadn't
inside
said what the game
joke
was.
that if you have to explain is no longer a joke.
So
and it's just inside whatever.
Dave, do me a favor. Can you explain to us just explain what you're thinking right now?
Jerk. Dave, and so
Dave, I'm sorry. Anyway, welcome back to Brain Break. If you're still with us, we are coming into game time now, and that was on purpose. I missed Dave's cue, so I had to apologize to him because Julie, we're going to attempt to play a digital version of Sorry.
How is this gonna work?
Why are we playing Sorry?
Because Bree saw that Julie said it was one of her favorite games. Is that true?
Yeah, so I like being evil to people. That's why.
That's why. Okay, well, that's gonna be interesting.
People that say Sorry is their favorite game is they're like bullies. They just like to.
I am a bully. No, but I do like to play games that make me a bully, and it's okay to be a bully. And you have to say sorry afterwards, right? So it's not really.
It teaches you manners, right? Yeah. Is that why it's okay? All right, so
I just had a conversation with one of my kids and said, sorry doesn't fix it. So that's interesting.
Well,
Apparently it does. Got
it. So we're going to try this out. I got to get the Chrome tab up here. So you guys.
I'm intrigued on how this is going to work digitally.
That is not, I did not mean to bring it. Sorry, Bree. I brought Bree up.
Just fine.
Sorry, Bree. Sorry. All right, so there's our sorry board. Can you see it okay?
So small. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to try that. Maybe can I zoom in on just the board? I got to do this. It's hard because I'm looking at multiple screens here. How much does that help? It doesn't. No, see, it's going to make it worse to see because of the way it brings up. So anyway, all right.
Sorry, that's the name of the game. Sorry.
It's good.
That's how we play.
What on earth? Now I can't see it at all.
Sorry.
How was that?
Sorry.
All right. Bree, help me out. It's not working.
This is like me every day in class when I'm trying to present
That's the number that I wanted right there. Okay.
There you go.
So you see the video on the right. That's how you're going to roll the dice. So when I click on here, it starts to roll. And then I click on stop it, and it's on a 3. So the thing is, I'm going to be the one that moves everything. So I can click and drag these blocks and you just move them to where they got to be. And then the way that we're going to go, it's you're going to roll your die, but in order to roll the die, you have to first answer the question.
Oh.
It's sort of like Trivial Pursuit meets Sorry. I like it.
Yeah. A little, but the questions are a little more. It's going to allow us to get to know each other a little bit too, maybe have some fun and stuff too. So we're going to try this out. So Dave, not Dave. Julie, what color would you like to be?
I'd like to be green.
She's gonna go teach better green. She's gonna realize. Dave,
Green, but now I can't.
Sorry.
Okay.
she's already bullying. She said she's sorry.
Yes.
I'll go blue. I'll go blue.
Okay. I will be red. All right. So Julie, we're gonna have you go first because you're our guest.
Okay.
Does she have to answer a question first,
She
or
has
just
to
roll?
answer a question first.
Okay. Can I
believe.
pick the question?
Yeah, you want to pick the question? Do you have
Okay,
access to
the
it? So you can
question,
pick it. You're going to do all the question picking. How about that, Dave?
Fair enough.
Okay, so you pick the question.
All right, Julie, you've got a parabola that. No, I'm just kidding.
How far does baseball go?
All right. Ooh, I'm not going in any order. I'm picking.
It's all right. I think you can just pick this like you're picking a card.
All right, Julie. I need to know, what is your biggest pet peeve as a teacher? What is your biggest pet peeve?
Tapping pencils. I
Really?
cannot
Why?
stand it. I
Sorry.
remind me if
would-
we ever meet in person.
Now I know why you're never there. Gotcha.
That's why she's never there. We told her that you tap. What is going on here? It's moving on me. It's moving on me.
Sorry.
I don't know. I'm on like two different screens, so I apologize.
Tapping pencils.
All right,
Why?
so tapping pencils.
It just grates on my nerves, especially when like 3 kids are doing it at once to be funny, and I
What if they got
can't
a
take
decent
it.
one?
Stop it.
All right. Yes, I like that. If you see, we'll post in the comments, like you can answer all these questions too as teachers, as educators here. What is your biggest pet peeve? All right. So the way we're gonna do this, Julie, I'm gonna click play, and then you tell me when to stop, and that's your roll, okay?
Okay.
And it's not working for me. It's not working, Bree. What's going on, Bree? Bree, it's not working. There it goes.
It's like a little delay there. Stop.
Now, like, it wasn't clicking properly. I don't know what I was doing. All right, you got one. So you can't get out. Well, no. What do you need to roll to get out? Sorry, where's the
A
game?
1 or a 2, I think, right?
It's a 1 or 2. Yeah, 1 or a 6. 1 or a 6.
Oh, 1 or a 6. Okay.
A 2, you get to roll again. But okay, so you got a 1, so we'll move one out. All right.
Woot.
All right. I guess I get the next question.
Sure. Are you ready, Jeff?
Yes.
All right, Jeff. Let's assume that you get banned from Twitter. What did you do to earn that ban?
Oh, jeez. What did I do?
What did you say about Elon Musk?
I'm actually thinking that I probably went on a profanity ridden tweet rant about the Browns. And like somehow
nobody cares about that kind of tweet, though,
Yeah.
Jeff. Nobody even noticed that you put it out there.
maybe I threatened violence against the Browns, and that violated the Twitter things. Maybe that's what happened.
Okay. Random question: is Baker still with the Browns? True question.
I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think
All right,
I don't think the team knows either. Okay.
This is weird. It's like it's acting funny for me here. And I got 1 too. Get one out. All right.
Nice. I think this is rigged.
It's rigged good.
I'm
I
not
guess.
gonna get very far if
All
all
right,
we get is
Dave,
ones. Though.
you are asking questions. You don't get to ask your own questions. Have a look at the questions real quick. Dave, what is the most unique talent you have? And I want a serious answer. What's the talent you have?
Most unique talent. Ooh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Unique talent that I have. I creatively brush my hair. I am an amazing artist.
My hair. What are you talking about?
Could you do this with your hair? Just saying. Could you?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
could
think
shave
so.
it. Yeah, I
don't
could.
think so. Ray's not watching, so I could say I'm an artist.
Nikki says she does a pretty good sea lion impression.
I would love to see that.
I would love to hear that, Nikki. In fact, if you come to the Teach Better conference in October, you could probably hear Nikki do a sea lion impression. Just saying.
Is that a sea lion?
I don't know, Nikki. Let us know. Was that good? Scale 1 to 10. How was Dave's? All right, Dave. I'm gonna roll for you here.
Stop.
What?
We're gonna go what?
We're all
Are we
stopping at the
sure
same
this thing
exact time.
actually does anything other than
What are you?
ones?
What are you, Dave? Are you blue or yellow?
Blue's fine.
All right, you get one out too. Okay. All right, let's go. We gotta get moving because it's gonna take forever for us to like knock each other out.
Let's see. Oh, let me get different questions here. Okay. It's Julie, right?
Yep.
Julie? Okay. Julie, think of any actor or actress, probably actress for this question on Netflix, but you do you. Which actor or actress would you choose to have as a roommate?
Oh, probably Amy Adams. I idolize her.
That's a good
Good
one.
answer.
Yeah, I think she's beautiful. She's so smart. She's talented. Just seems so down to earth when you see her on interviews. I think she'd be a great roommate. Like we get along really well.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
I like her.
Okay, I hope you two trust me. I opened up this dice roll. It's a YouTube video, so open up in a separate tab because I think it was something with my tabs there. So I will give you the correct answer of what I roll. So Julie, go ahead.
Okay, stop.
It's a 1 again.
It's a 1 again.
I'm telling you right now, like I tried it beforehand. Like it rolls different numbers. It just happens that we keep hitting the same.
Like, I'm just thinking in my head the probability of that happening because I'm a math
Can we
teacher.
map
I'm
a
like, this is
parabola?
just not. No, it's not.
All right, so
It's not
we're gonna move
likely.
we're moving your one forward, one space. Okay.
Oh, yay.
All
There
right,
we go.
Dave. Question for Jeff. We're
Okay.
gonna inch along the board by ones. We're never gonna get anywhere.
We're never gonna say sorry. It's never gonna happen.
We've said sorry a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, no.
Like quite a bit so far.
I want an explanation, not just an answer for this one. If you were footwear, what style would you be? Would you be Crocs? Would you be boots? Would you be flip-flops? What would you be? What style of footwear would you be?
I would be like the original Toms slip-ons.
Why?
You
'Cause
mean
I'm easy going and I give back to people.
Wow. That was good. Okay.
and do you give them back
Or
problems
Dave,
too?
because if you get a pair of me, you kind of want to just give it to someone else, which is not how that works. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna roll for me. Let's see if I get something better here. And stop. Hey, I got 5.
Yay! There we go.
Where am I at? I'm red, right? 1, 2, 3, 5. Ooh, I hit a slide, which means I get the slide to here. Woo! I'm coming after you, Dave.
Come on.
All right, buddy. I gotta pick one for you, huh? I'm gonna get a serious question.
Oh.
What is the best article you've read this year so far? Like blog or article piece?
Can I nerd out for a minute?
Sure.
So I've been super intrigued by some neuroscience articles I've been reading lately about the prefrontal cortex and how it develops. Super fascinating. So let me just geek out for a second. There's this, we hear as educators, middle school teachers, high school teachers, we say that kids have no common sense, and we say they're clueless and they make all these stupid decisions. We say it's because their prefrontal cortex doesn't develop till they're 25. A lot of research is coming out and explaining why that is. Do you know why their prefrontal cortex doesn't develop till they're 25?
No.
So it starts developing early on from birth to 5, takes a pause, and starts back up again around 17. The prefrontal the prefrontal cortex is where you start to do some decision making and logic and start to transfer knowledge, making connections between content that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some research now saying that when kids are in school, because they're following such a script, being told what to do, when to do it, where to do it, and how to think, that the prefrontal cortex doesn't start to fully develop again until they leave school and have to start making decisions.
So school stunts it.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, or at least the truth. Yeah. So did they dive into, Dave, what kind of pedagogical shifts we can make to
a lot of
enhance it versus not?
Ironically, and this is
Critical
not a
thinking
pitch.
skills.
This is not a pitch, but critical thinking, self-paced agendas where students have to start making decisions for themselves, transferable knowledge and interdisciplinary connections, all of the stuff that we talk about. Like I'm like singing the praises right now because of all the neuroscience. It's crazy. It's cool. So yeah,
Julie, that's why it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Interesting.
I 100%
That's crazy to look
believe
at that.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, you get to roll, my friend, and go.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop.
You got a 1.
A 1.
I can't even bring something else out, can I? Because I got to get that one out of space.
No, you can't. Yeah. All right. Back to Julie now.
All right, Julie. I'm going to stick with the actor-actress theme here.
Okay.
Who's going to play you in your life movie?
Ooh.
Same answer. I love Amy Adams so much. I think she's beautiful. I don't think I look like her at all, but I think personality-wise, I think we fit really well. So
She
think
could
that's a good
totally
answer.
rock you.
Because
I think she
what-
totally.
could.
I would have gone out for you. I would have
Glasses
gone Amy Adams or Kristen Bell. I can see either one of
Kristen
those.
Bell's a
could
good
do-
one
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
think of her. Yeah, either one of those.
The
If you
only
want someone
person
that looks a little bit more like me, I guess Kristen Bell. But then Amy Adams is, I think, a slightly better actress. So if you want Academy Award-winning material, you got to go with Amy Adams, 100%.
you wouldn't know the actors who paid me because it'd be a Hallmark movie. Be one of those people. My wife would probably know him. Dave, I'm pretty sure the only person that could play you is Tim McGraw.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's the only way you could go. All right, Julie, we are rolling.
Okay. Stop.
5.
Yay!
Where are you at? Oh, you gotta go to
I'm green. That'll move me
So
5.
you're gonna slide all the way to there.
Okay.
No, wait, did I do that?
Oh, you
right?
miscounted. That's okay.
Nope, I miscounted. You're right here. I was
Yep,
thinking
there
you were
you
at the
go.
same spot I was, but this was another roll. Okay. All right, Dave, I'm up.
Okay, so this might be your last question.
I was gonna say, yeah, we're at 51.
Okay.
We got-
So this last question, being that you're in Ohio and I moved away from the Midwest to get away from some of the weather that you have there, let's just assume that you've got magical powers and you can control the weather.
Okay.
And instead of snow falling from clouds, you can pick anything else to fall from clouds.
Oh, are we talking like cloudy with a chance of
Cloudy
meatballs
with
right
a
now?
meatball.
What's
yeah.
falling from the sky instead of snow?
Instead of snow, I like snow.
So you got to make a choice here.
So instead of snow, can I ask a clarifying question? Are there mechanisms that can be put in place to catch it so that we can?
That's a good question.
No, right now you're just controlling the weather. You're not coming up with innovation.
Well, I guess I could put things out, so that's up to me.
Yeah.
Barbecue ribs.
That would hurt.
I know, but I'm gonna stay
That's what
inside.
I asked.
I'm gonna stay inside and put a thing out and catch them, and then when it's done, I'll get them inside, and that's how I survive the
Think
rest
about
of
how
it.
sloppy the grass is going to be.
Have you been in Ohio in February?
You've got dogs. Your dogs are going to be out there just eating grass all day.
And ribs. So, yeah.
What do they do right now? My dog will want to go outside in the snow now instead of peeing in the house.
Okay.
My yard's a disaster. Like come
So-
February, anyway, I'd rather it be barbecue sauce than muddy, disgusted, and melted snow water stuff.
So
Like,
in that situation, if somebody's taking their snow from their driveway or their ribs from the driveway and shoveling it into your yard, you're okay with it.
heck yeah, get that snowblower out. I'll just be catching it on the other side. That would be horrible. That's probably not the right thing. Something else is probably better than that. But I for some reason right now, ribs sound really good in my head.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to answer Bree's question real quick while we figure out how to transition here. Bree, you asked who would play you. Who would play you? So I've got a few options here. I can slow play this and see if anybody else wants to chime in before I do. Anybody?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm thinking I got a couple. I'm trying to get in my head who.
So
In her profile picture, she looks like an actress, and I can't put my finger on who it is.
my first one, I'm going to say Dove Cameron.
That's who it is. It's Dove.
Is it?
Yes.
Dove Cameron. Are you familiar with Dove Cameron?
That picture, she looks like
So,
Dove.
Dove Cameron.
Mal.
She played
Mal
both
and,
Liv and Maddie.
Yeah, but I know
and,
Mal.
yeah,
Descendants.
She also played Maleficent or Mal, whatever. Yeah, on Descendants.
Maleficent's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dove
Now
Cameron.
I think she's got a clothing line. She does some music
She's,
and stuff.
she's a singer now too. She's got all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff out there. So
Yeah, and Bree, put your thing up again. Your comment up again. And that picture, that I don't know why. I think that's what I see her. I don't know. Maybe that's. I don't know. I definitely see Dove. I think she could pull off a Bree. I think. Yeah. Okay. Curious in the comments who would play Jeff. I've never thought through that before ever in my life.
Ryan Reynolds. It's yeah, come on.
Really? Do you really think that? Because that's like there's literally nothing you could say for the rest of our friendship ever that would make me not love you to death if that's your actual answer.
No, let's stick with it.
Ryan Reynolds is he's like the most beautiful thing ever created. Like,
and hilarious.
and he also happens to be hilarious and a good actor.
And a good actor, yep.
Yeah, and a pretty smart investor.
Yes.
Boy, I'm just like,
he's a trifecta for sure.
It's either that or Dwayne Johnson. So you take your pick.
Like, have you watched Red Notice?
I have.
With them together? Like,
yeah.
Boy, wow. Like I'm
You're speechless now.
I'm like just overflowing with emotion and just appreciation for Dave right now. Like it's a whole nother level.
Tell you what, go tell Amy what I said and see if she agrees.
I'm not bursting this bubble, buddy. She knows well enough. She'd be like, yes, absolutely. Like she knows where Ryan Reynolds is in my life. Anyway, all right. That's hilarious.
You're tongue tied now. Okay,
that's funny. There's trends on TikTok with Ryan Reynolds where it's just guys all over the place where they talk about like the most beautiful women in the world. And they're like, the most beautiful woman in the world is absolutely, it's Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds it's definitely Ryan Reynolds. Anyway, okay. I think we have to wrap up the game because we got to get into what's coming up, what's going on and stuff. This worked out. I was a little nervous because like we mess up a lot when we do shared game, but this worked.
That was good. I'm impressed.
It was good. It was fun. Julie, I hope you enjoyed playing. It was good. I really enjoyed the blend of the questions because we got to learn a little bit, we got to have some fun while we were also playing around the game. So
yeah,
we didn't say sorry. So I think you need an hour.
Yeah,
you need an hour because it takes a little bit with the questions, especially when Dave's like, I need like thought behind it and stuff. So, but that was good. Okay, Dave, we need to get into what's coming up and what's going on with the team here. Welcome back to Brain Break. It's almost time to wrap up. We're still live here for some reason on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Dave, we got a lot going on with the team. What's going on, man? What do you got for us?
I feel like I'm supposed to start singing "What's going on? What's going on?" But I'm not.
That's what we should. We need to get the copyright taken care of, and that's what should be on there. Yeah,
that's a unique talent that I have. But instead, let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about like yesterday. You were on a little road trip. This morning, I was in a meeting. We're basically taking over the entire state of Ohio right now. we are. If you would live in Ohio, get used to these places because we're hanging out with just about everybody, right? There's this huge grant that we were able to secure on behalf of educators all over the state that allowing Teach Better to do a ton of work with. It's called Remote edX, where Teach Better is coming in and just providing training. Am I allowed to say the amount? I'm going to. Close to $1 million in grant money for free training for all of these educators across the state.
To be clear, we didn't secure that. 16 ESCs secured it so that they could work with us.
No, that's when you're that good. People say we're going to go find the money. And they found almost $1 million.
We assisted with the writing of the grant and got together. Yeah, it was a big project collective. Yeah, 16 ESCs. So in Ohio, we have something called ESCs, Educational Service Centers. They are county level offices that work to support schools in a wide variety of way. One of the many ways in which they support their schools is through PD and providing training and stuff like that as well. They also do a lot of other stuff. And we're doing over the next 12 months, we're doing a whole bunch of stuff. So Dave was in a meeting today doing strategic planning with one of the ESCs on how they're going to support all their teachers. Yesterday, Chad and I drove across the state of Ohio to the other side and met with, we were in a room with, I think, 10, 15 principals from the schools from one of the ESCs and stuff as well. And we got a whole lot of workshops and visits and all kinds of stuff. I messaged Dave and I'm like, hey, like, just so you know, like putting this day on the calendar, I'm sorry, it's in Ohio, which is funny because there's a lot that's going to be in Ohio. So, yeah, but it's fun. Yeah. It's super exciting because people all the time are like, oh, we would love to do it, but how do we get the funding to do it? And we were able to find it. So it's pretty cool. It's very cool. It's
amazing opportunity.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. And it's super fun. So that's one thing going on. So that's going on. That's good.
Going on.
What else is going on?
For those people that aren't in Ohio, or even I guess if you are in Ohio, amazing book study. I think we announced this last week or the week before.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, the book study that is out right now in the Academy. You want to talk a little bit about Joshua _Stamper's
amazing so his book Aspire to Lead his book's been out for, gosh, what? more than 6 months now.
About that,
in
yeah.
September. It's been out, and we did a book study. And this is the way I described it a lot when he and I talked about like the way he described it was it's kind of like the director's cut, right? It's all the stuff that couldn't get put in the book, like Josh's thoughts around the topics that he talks about in the book are now put in his course, and there's some challenges and extra resources and stuff that he guides you through. And it's a lot. Like there's a lot of videos. They're all short and sweet, so you can watch them as you go. You can take your time. You can drop in, get one in the morning, one in the evening. You don't have to sit down for hours to get it all out. But there's a ton of content there. It's a great read. I think the way Josh described it, the best to read the book and then go through the course to go through it. I think you can go through it at the same time too, but we'll listen to Josh. Great course. It's free over at teachbetteracademy.com. If you already have the Academy membership, it's already in your My Courses dashboard, but otherwise it's free to go sign up. So I would highly recommend that course. Josh worked really hard on it.
So good. Yeah, so good. And the last thing I want to mention, speaking of Ohio,
Ohio, all right.
Yeah, there's more Ohio. We're going to talk about October 14th, 15th in Ohio. Yeah. Something super cool that's happening that I know is going to sell out because we're seeing crazy parabolic trend data to support it. People are registering like crazy. People are submitting proposals like crazy. The Teach Better conference taking place this fall. Super, super excited about it.
Look at that on the screen. Got to submit your proposals because those close on April 30th. So we just announced, Dave.
It's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, it's not far away. We just on Monday announced 2 more speakers of our initial lineup, and then not next week, but the week after, we'll announce our final of that first group, which is our second keynote. And so, if you want to come along and speak alongside of all those folks, like April 30th today, there are a lot of really good proposals coming in. So it's not, Dave. It's not a crazy form either. It's not like a big long proposal thing. Like there's some, hey, describe your session, tell us how it matches up with the Teach Better mindset. Like I think the most difficult thing to do is the video, and it's a minute-long video. It's super easy. Pop your phone up, boom, you're done.
Which you can redo those videos over and over and over again until you get it's like Instagram, right? You can put your filters on, you can edit it,
you can do it, and then send it in. But it's not like a super, like some conference proposals, like they're really long and you got to sit down to. This is super easy. Just get it done this weekend.
Can I just tell people? It looks like Liv Chan will be there. I see it in the comments. So if for no other reason, Liv Chan will be there. So people, come on now.
She's
going
to be there. Julie, are you coming? Or
you're on the spot now.
Make it? I can see. I can put in the request with my admin here.
Dave, next time you're in Plano, like a little. Hey,
see what I can do.
Nudge.
See what I can do.
We'll see.
I'll say, hey, Julie. Oh, she's not here right now. So let me talk on her behalf.
I heard she works here, but I'm not 100% sure. If she does, I know she has the swag, but we're not sure she's actually employed here. Anyway, okay, we gotta go. We're over time at this point. It's time to go. It's time to move along. Say goodbye. However you want to say that. Julie, really appreciate hanging out with us, coming on. Super glad that this was like your first step onto the screen with the Teach Better team. Now it may not be your last.
Oh, was I that good?
You may have.
Don't let this discourage you. Everybody else is way better than we are. I promise you.
Yeah. Most experience will be better than this. So that's why we start here, because it's like if you can get through this, you're good. But it was super exciting. Awesome having you on. I am so pumped to hear about all the success you're having. And if we've had anything, even a little bit to do with that just makes everything worth it. So super excited.
You guys, thank you so much. I mean, it really has transformed my classroom. So
well, thank you, because that doesn't transform just because an idea is shared. There's a lot of work that goes in, and that is all on you. So we appreciate you. Hopefully, I'll get to come out to Plano and see you soon. If not, we're gonna put some whispers and ears to get you out here in October and stuff. So.
I would love to come out there in October. Yes.
Appreciate you, Dave. I appreciate you so much today.
It's my pleasure, Ryan.
So much.
My pleasure, Ryan.
All of you watching, drop in the comments. Really, thank you so much for jumping in and hanging out with us. Big shout out to Brianne Fennell for putting together our game for us and actually helping run on the back end today too, which is the first time doing that. So super fun. So you might have seen I popped it on the screen for a half second. So if you can get a screenshot of that and share it later, that'd be great. Because she didn't know. And we'll be back next week, same time, same place, 5:00 Eastern time. Appreciate y'all. Have an amazing rest of your night. We'll see you.